Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back to my channel today. Today I am going to be doing a tutorial on how to make this bento book box. If you did not watch our videos from the Beat the Winter Blues YouTube hop that we did Saturday, January 3rd, it is posted, and I even made a playlist of all of the participants, the fabulous ladies that participated. But I did a walkthrough of this bento box, and I would appreciate it if you just went back and watched it to save some time on today's video. So I am doing the tutorial on how I made mine with some tweaks to the sizes because I wanted my pen box a little bit longer and larger, and as well as the pencil box. So if you go back and watch, it's going to be very similar, but it will be the same size but a little bit larger on the spines, and then the interior boxes and pockets will be a little bit different sizes than what mine is. So get some cardstock. This one is pretty much like a one and done, but it is going to be much sturdier than my initial box here. I have purchased this Harmony Hues, and it's 110-pound cardstock, 300 GSM. And boy, I already went through the one kind of cranberry red, so I've got some pieces that are going to be in this color, some that will be in this color, and then I have a Valentine's paper collection that I will use to cover all of the pieces. Now, what I did with this one here is I did similar to what Rosa Kelly does. I will do the box, and then I went back and measured all of the sides and added pattern paper where I wanted to add pattern paper. So you can do your matting and measure all of your pieces before, and do your matting before you put your book together. That's totally up to you, but I will show you how I just did the bulk of the box, build it, and then I can come back and decorate it another day with you. How about that? So that way that gives everybody time to make it and watch my video and stuff. So thank you so much, and let's get into the tutorial and build us a bento book box. Okay, and for today's tutorial, I am going to try this Lineco brand neutral pH adhesive, and it's especially for binding books and it looks like paper crafts. It is a PVA permanent adhesive, dries clear, remains flexible, buffered for added protection. So I'm not sure, but it was a really great price. Both of these items I did get on Amazon. And so let's see how it works today, shall we? Okay, first of all, you will need a 12 by 12 cardstock for this, or if you have 11 and the what is it, 8 and a quarter by 11 or 8 by 11 and a half, you can accommodate it for that. But since I had 12 by 12, I went ahead, and this is actually unfortunately one of those projects that will take a lot of cardstock. Okay, so let me share with you what I did here. And the way that it closes is going to be like so. As you can see, I even tweaked it a little bit. But when we add the cardstock, what I did here won't be a problem. Okay, so what we have here with the finished book is 5 inches, all right, finished, by 7 inches tall. Okay, and you can make it taller. You can do whatever you want once you've done this, and I can see it being so much fun to make as many as you want. This is a great swap book. This size here, you really, mine, I decided to go a little bit larger with the spine. So let's see, let me get my measurements here. Okay, so I'm going to turn this just to not confuse you with the numbers, okay? Because I'm going to be covering the other side with the paper, with cardstock, okay? So today is all about just building the box. And you're going to cut one 12-inch cardstock 7 inches wide, okay? So it's going to be 7 inches wide by 12. And then you're going to get another 12-inch and cut another piece. And you're going to cut another 18 inches roughly, because you're going to glue the two pieces together to come up with a 17 and 5/8 long piece by 7 inches wide. Okay, and then we're going to score it. All right, so you need a 17 and 5/8 inch piece by 7 inches. Okay, and because we're just going to do scoring with this, and then you're going to get your scoreboard. Let's get that out of the way. And if you watch Posh Paper Lady, if you watch Tiffany Crafting Like a Boss McGill, you'll see that you can add pieces and make longer pieces when you're making these books. That's just something that you will have to do when you do chipboard book making. But today we aren't using chipboard because you're going to be covering with cardstock as well. And it will be very sturdy, especially with this 110-pound cardstock. So let's get this ready for scoring. And let's zoom in. All right, first score is going to be 3 inches. Okay. Three inches. And then we are going to do the 2.5-inch spine. So that brings us to the 3.5-inch score mark right there. Okay. And then we want 5 inches. So that takes us to 10.5. And then rotate it somewhere to a hole mark. And then you're going to do 2.25 inches for the next spine. Okay. and then you will have 5 inches. So the first one, you get a 3-inch flap. And then you get a 2.5-inch spine, a 2.25-inch spine, and then a 5-inch back. And then when this is all matted, see, there we go. So, and then it's up to you if you want to do magnets. So let's go ahead and put magnets on because we will be using magnets. Okay, now let's see. Make sure, I want to make sure I do the right side. This is the closure side for me. So make sure you line it up really, really good. And at this point, you can fold it flat to make it easier to put the magnets on. Okay? Now, let's be scientific here and find a good spot for the magnets. Let's get a pen. And let's come in probably around here, in between, somewhere in there. Okay, which is like the 3/4 mark. And then let's come in a 1/2 inch. So that'll be here. There. Okay, so let's get, we will need 4 magnets. Now, I was recommended, my friend Leslie hit up our good friend Debbie to ask what she uses for magnets, and she recommended these, and they were purchased on Amazon, and they already have tape on them. How cool is that? So let's get 1, down, and then let's get this one down. And then what I like to do is get some washi to hold them down for me. Let's get Scrappy does something really cool too. She uses paper, but just want a bit of washi. And if it rips, it rips. It's not, I know, a little bit of paper because it's not a big deal. We're going to cover it. Just my luck with magnets is not the best. All right, so, oops, that is the wrong way. There we go. Okay. Let's take that tape off. And let's line that up really good. Okay. And squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. Voila. And then I put washi on top of those to keep them still. And then right before we cover with paper, I'll take the washi off. That's just, Debbie does this. Rosa Kelly, they use tape. But now that these are already have glue on them, we just do that. Okay, so now we have this part of the box. There is the bulk of the box, 2 1/4 by 7, 3-inch flap, 2 1/2 by 7, 2 1/4 by 7, 5-inch, and 5 inches. Okay, there we go. Now let's make the interior components. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot I had the thing still recording, and I just took you with me on a long walkabout to go get some cardstock. That is crazy. How fun. Okay. So let's do this one together. The pencil box. We want a 8.5 or 5.5. Let's do it this. No, we better do it this way. Let's do 8.5. Oh my gosh, I can't see. Okay, this is the 4th time I am having major difficulties. Okay, pencil box, 8.5 by 5.5. On the 5.5-inch side, let's get this. I'll tell you another thing too. I'm not happy with having to constantly mess with this score thing here. That's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, now we want a 1/2 inch score mark. Okay, and we are doing 2 inches on this side, so that's going to take us to 2.5, 3-inch, 3-inch, do a score mark, and then at 5. Okay, rotate it, and we want a 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to rotate mine. Well, no, I won't. I won't do that to you guys. Sorry. Okay, so now we want to score at 7.5. And at 8. Okay. All right. And now on this side, oops, that score mark is funky. There we go. Wow, that was bad. Okay. So if we're looking at it like this, oh, that's upside down. Sorry, guys. Woo! If we're looking at it like this, we're going to cut this first square here. And we're going to cut this square here. And then we're going to get rid of these 3 here. Or all of this, excuse me. All of this. That's our glue tab, okay? All right. So let's get rid of that square. And then we're going to cut down. And we're going to cut down here. And we're going to get rid of that. And cut down. And get rid of all of this. And then it's going to look like that, right? Cut that down a little bit. Okay. And now let's angle and angle and get rid of this corner here. Cut up and make that tab and that tab. All right. Score everything up. And you will do some trimming on those glue tabs. Okay. All right. That. Now go ahead and make an angle. And make sure that's good and straight. Get your glue. Let's see if I got this opened up enough. Not sure how good this glue is, but it was a really good price. Okay, and let's glue our box. And you mainly want to line up your bottom and your top. It's paper, you know. By the time you've done cutting and scoring and stuff, you know, everything is not perfect. So sometimes you have to cut. But there we go. And a ruler works really good too for that. And now you want to close up your box on the bottom. And you can reinforce it with some paper too on the bottom. And then this is going to be facing forward because, you know, the closure. So I am going to first bring the back closed. And then do this side. Okay. And if you have a long, I was wondering why I put that. There we go. And then there we go. Pencil box. Now mine, I ended up doing a magnet over it, but depending on what you want to do, you could do a magnet or a closure of some kind. But by the time you, there you go. Voila. And it does get much more sturdy when you start adding the paper. Okay, so there's the pencil box. That's how it goes together. And so I'm going to go ahead and glue mine here. And you'll see it's much sturdier with sturdier cardstock. There we go. And this is not a quick project, guys. This one takes quite a while to put together. Labor of love. But if you're doing a swap, it's all together in one go. And that's always pretty awesome. Have it all packaged up in one little. If you've ever done a binder swap, that's kind of what you do with your binder swap. But this one is cute little compartments. Okay, and make sure, there we go. And the back first. And then the front flap back. Stand it up. Voila. And I have not done any trimming on this one. I forgot. And sometimes you have to do the little corners too. There we go. Pencil box. So that's ready to be glued in. And I'm not going to worry about doing any paper on the back. And then you can even add a thumb notch if you want to at this point. Totally up to you. You can round the corners a little bit if you want. Just, or barely, just do the little corners like that. And then it goes in really good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so pencil box done. And that will fit in like so. Yeah, this one I decided to get it right on in there, so you have more room. Oh, that's going to be fun. It's going to be on the inside though. And that will go inside. Voila. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. The pencil box will go on the inside like so. Just like that. And it's going to be flush with the top and bottom of the box. So you'll have more room for straws and some maybe, you know, stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking, pencils. So just like a pencil box. Yeah, what I had found out with this one is it just was a little bit too short for a pencil. So making it just a half an inch longer will be much better. Okay, now let's do the pen box. Okay, and for the pen box, we need a 5.5 by 9.5 piece of cardstock. Okay, 9.5 by 5.5. Okay. Five and a half by 9.5. All right. Now we get it ready to score again. All right. Here we go. On the 5.5 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And then at 2. And this is going to be hopefully big enough for some, even some beaded pens. I made it a little bit bigger. 3. And 4.5. Okay. And then rotate it. The 1/2 inch side is your glue flap. And now we've got a 1 inch bottom. And then I'm going to turn mine around, rotate it. Okay. And then it's going to be 3/4 of an inch. Oh, here, let's do it this way. Okay. 1 inch. And then, so 1, 1 3/4. No, that's the bottom. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's try that again. All right, you're going to rotate it once. You're going to do 1 inch. 7 3/4. And then 8 3/4. Okay. Excuse me. And then let's score it and burnish it all up. Lots and lots of interruptions. Glue flap. But this one is a much bigger pen box, so that if you're doing a beadable, whether it be a pokey tool or a pen, you will have room for it. Okay. All right, here we go. And now we're going to cut this one. And we're going to get rid of this bottom flap here, because this is the bottom. There's your glue flap. Cut your score lines. This is the bottom. Now rotate it. Glue flap side. Okay, see here? And then all of that goes to the first line here. Cut this side. Don't cut all of it. We're just cutting the first square. Okay. Now down this one. And again, only the first square. All right. And now it looks almost the same. Come down here to the bottom. And do a little angle on those. Just barely. Just makes it a little bit cleaner. There we go. Okay. And now we're going to glue. So I'm going to glue mine here. Okay. Doesn't matter. It's up to you if you want to go inside or outside. You just got to line up like so. And I think, yeah, you can even fold this one and glue it. That helps. Keeps it all lined up. Now, this was a mistake piece, so there's extra lines. Ignore those lines. We're just gluing, okay? All right. Come to the bottom. do that a little bit more. And if there's anything hanging over, you can trim it up. It's really not a big deal. All right, and then it will close up here. So we're gonna trim that. And if you're having any difficulty, because this is paper crafting, right? So you can just barely make little corners. Okay, now let's glue up the bottom. And you do want it to be a little bit heavier on this one because it's going to be holding something heavier, you know, the pen. So there we go. And let's see. Let's do the back first. Let's open that up. So we want to glue the back one down first. And then the front one back. That way it looks cleaner. Okay, and then get your ruler or really long bone folder. And get that all sealed up. All right, so there is our pen box. And you can do your matting before you glue it down. Okay. And it's going to go on this side. See? So definitely have more room for a beadable now. Okay, and then we are going to make our boxes, our embellishment boxes now. So I'm going to get those. Okay, and our embellishment boxes. These two boxes here. You've got your cardstock. We're going to need a 4.5 inch by 8.5 inch cardstock, 2 of them for 2 boxes. Okay, and we're going to score on the 4.5 inch side 1 inch and 3.5. And these are just pizza style boxes. Then we're going to rotate it to the 8.5 inch side and score at 1, score at 3 3/4, score at 4 3/4, and at 7.5. Okay, and then burnish all of your score marks. Really, really good. And this is way sturdier cardstock than my prototype was. So it's going to be a huge difference. Okay. Now, I'm going to miter and cut the interior tabs on both sides. You don't have to do it too much. Okay. Get those little wedges out without hopefully ripping anything. And then come up here. It's totally up to you how you do these. This is how I do mine. Rotate. On the boxes, I only miter the interior. It helps me line them up better if I, whatever makes me feel better. Okay, now go ahead and do both of your boxes the same way. Okay. Again. This is, wow, really sturdy cardstock, and it doesn't have a white center. So you're not going to have to worry about inking your cardstock. Oh my gosh, it is so great. Love it. Definitely will be buying more of this. Okay. Now we get our glue. Now, if this was printed cardstock, I forgot to do those. It would matter which side you glued first. But since this is plain and you're going to be doing matting, maybe you won't be. Maybe you like your plain paper. It's not a sin. You can do what you totally do what you want. Okay, but it does matter how you do your box. Okay, and so, oh, for Pete's sake. First, let's glue our interior tabs. Oh my goodness, I forgot to do all of these. What the heck? Okay, and now I'm going to glue to one side these interior tabs on both sides to the same side. Okay. And now, oh my goodness, I forgot to do all of these. Now let's glue these. I haven't done a lot of intricate tutorials, so there we go. Line that up. Okay. make sure they are all good. Okay, and now it helps to do your box like so. That way you don't glue it too tightly, okay? Like Christian's Crafty Adventure does that, and it is a great trick for boxes because you don't want to make it too snug. All right, so again, let's bring that down, and then that. Like so. All right. Now I'm going to do the other one, and then we just have to do the little expanding pockets. Okay. We have our boxes done. All of our boxes are done. Pen box, pencil box, embellies boxes. And now let's do the expanding pockets. And that's what these are here. Now we have 3 expanding pockets. Okay, and mine, these I made 1/4 of an inch. I didn't do as deep. Those I did a 1/2 an inch, and that way they're just a little bit snugger. All right, so we want, oh, and this is the back pocket. Okay, and for the back pocket, you want 1 5 7/8 by 4, and then on the 5 7/8 side, you're going to score a 1/2 an inch on each side. Rotate it one time and do a 1/2 an inch, and then miter your corners. Okay, so that will be for the back pocket. And now we have for the expanding pockets, the tiny ones, 2 3.5 by 3, and then score a 1/4 inch 2 times on each side, and a 1/2 an inch on the bottom. Okay, and then you will miter and fold, accordion fold. Okay, and then that goes up like so. And you'll do that to both pockets. Like so. Okay. And the thicker the paper, the sturdier it's going to be. Okay. And get that mitered really good. I mean, burnished. There we go. That's the word. Okay. So there's the two tiny pockets which fit your paper clips. You would do like you're gonna do paper clip embellishments. Okay. And then we've got two 4 by 4.5. And again, just like the small pocket, score 1/4 of an inch 2 times on each side. On the long side, on the short side, you'll score 1/2 inch 1 time on both, just like the smaller one. And you don't have to miter too much there, just a tiny bit. Okay. Oh, what did I just do? Oh my gosh, I just ruined my pocket. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay, we are going to do another one of that one. Ignore that one. Okay, so 4.5 by 4, and then 1/4 of an inch on each side. Okay, and now cut, cut. That's, there was a lot of interruptions, and my brain just like got boggled, totally boggled. Okay, like so. There is that one. And now let me recut one of these, okay? Okay, I totally forgot. One of the pockets I want bigger for a notebook. So we're going to do 4.5. Okay. And then let's see, we want a 4.5 inch opening. So this time I want to do 1/2 inch on each side. And I want a 4-inch opening and 1/2 inch on the other. So 5.5 and 6. And then we're going to cut it 6 inches long. So that's going to be 4.5 or 4. 4.5 by, whoops, by 6, and score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 5, and 5.5. Rotate it 1 time and do 1/2 inch on the bottom. Okay. And now I'm going to make it in red. Okay, so now I have my notebook pocket. And my large pocket for the other side. We've got our 2 small pockets, and now we've got 2 pockets that are 3 by 4.5. And you're going to score 1/4 of an inch, a 1/2 an inch, rotate it all the way around, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch. And then on the 3.5 inch side, you're going to score at a 1/2 an inch, and you're going to do what we've been doing with all of the other pockets, and hopefully not mess them up like I've been doing. Oh my gosh, I apologize. Big tutorial. My first big tutorial. Okay. There we go. And now, after we've done this, we get to start putting our book box, our bento box, book box together. There we go. Bento book box. All right. If you want to stop now, get all of your pieces together, and then we can put our book together. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, so what I've decided to do is to go in and start doing some of the matting before we add the boxes. So I automatically know that this is a 5 by 7 piece, and so this is 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. And let's deplug the glue gun. I mean the glue bottle. Okay. So again, this is a 4 7/8 by 6 7/8 piece of cardstock. I am using Prima, and this is a Valentine's collection from 2 or 3 years ago, I believe. Now, I really do want the edges glued very well, so it will last a very long time. And it's going over magnets. And if you want to be extra, you could do a foil. You know, a gold would be pretty, of course. And let's get this all out of the way. There we go. So the magnets are in here, and they are very strong magnets. Okay. There we go. And now let's do this 3 by 7 inch flap and get the tape off. And it pulled just a tiny bit of paper, this particular washi tape, because it is pretty strong, but we're covering it with paper, so I'm not mad. It's really sturdy paper too, so there we go. Okay, and so this one should be one of these. It is. Okay. And do I want to do the mat this on the inside? Let's stick with the pattern side. For that. There we go. So far, I'm really liking this glue. So this is a good glue review too. All right, let's make sure. Yes. Okay. And just like the other one. And I will do both sides. Go around the magnet really good. There we go. Now this one, and get my paper towel for the glue. We don't want any of this to lift. There we go. Now let's do this side. Yeah, I want to do the pattern on this one as well. And my kitties are extremely active right now, so I apologize, but it's taking me forever to get, I've had several parts of this video that I had to redo 3 or 4 times due to brain fog, interruptions. I'm not sure, but it's okay. There we go. You can see. All right, now we can get that down. Okay, and then we have a 2.5-inch gusset here, so that'll take care of this crease that was a mistake. There we go. All right. There is the book. And now I have the 2.5-inch spine. So I'm doing 2 1/4. And, why did I mismeasure that? What is that? That's 2.5. Is that the bigger one? No, it is not. Huh. Okay, well, I'm doing it anyway. And you know what? I'm going to do it plain there. So that, oh, I can add a sentiment. Oh my goodness. Okay. So there is that side. And I can add some embellishments there too. Or sentiments or something. There's lots of room there. And then we're going to put this one down. This one is 2 1/8 by 6 7/8. Oh, wrong spot. Ah! No big deal. Oh my gosh. I just got distracted. Here. There we go. Okay. A lot of distractions today. I'm letting myself lose focus. There we go. And now I can put one of the 5x7 pieces down. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish matting some of the spots before we put down our boxes and pockets. Okay, so we got that one down, and now we're going to put the interior ones. Okay, and now let's see here. We have this one here. So let's get that one down. And this is the 2.5 inch spine size. So this again is 2 1/4 by 6 7/8. Okie dokie. And one more 5x7 side. There we go. Ooh, that glues fast. So beware. Oh, wow. I'm really liking it. Okay, and now we need to cut another 4 7/8 by 6 7/8 piece. And then this one is the, oh, this was the 2 1/4 inch side. So we need 2 by 6 7/8. Okay, and so this one is 2 1/4 by 6 7/8. So, I mean by 7. So we need 2 1/8 by 6 7/8 for that one. And then we need the 4 7/8 by 6 7/8 for this side. So let's use this one. There we go. Now let's glue this one down. I hope you have been enjoying this tutorial. It is a very long tutorial. Thank you so much for following along. If you've made it this far, tell me where you are from. Where are you watching from? And thank you for subscribing. So if you are from USA, tell me USA and what town you're from, what town you're watching from. And if you're out of the country, I'd love to know exactly where you are watching from. I'm always curious. And it would help me a lot to know who actually watches my videos. And I appreciate you so much. I get discouraged doing too many giveaways because I feel like I'm just, buying subscribers. So I really do love doing this. And I just want to share what inspires me, and sometimes I get a idea for a tutorial and want to try it, and I hope you like it. Okay, and let's get that side down real good. Oh my gosh, I love this paper background with this collection. This is the Magic Love, and it's Frank Garcia. I love Frank Garcia's work, and I'm a Prima fan. I love Prima paper. Okay, so that is the book. It is all together now, all matted, super sturdy. Okay, now let's start doing our pockets. So let's start with the back pocket. And that is this 5 7/8 by 4 piece. And we scored a 1/2 inch on 3 sides. And it's a little bit narrower than the one that I made my other book, because I was trying to use a lot of the pieces that I had already cut. And so this is a good stash buster project as well. Okay, and we want to make sure we are doing this on the back, right? Because we have magnets here. And so this is for the back. Okay. And then we'll mat over it. And you can even put mat first before gluing down and put a notch if you feel you want a notch. But I don't. So I'm going to just go ahead and do it. I just think this is going to be a fun book for even travel crafting. This is a crafter's bento box, but not only that, it's a fun way to swap, because you can keep everything to the size of the pockets, a pen or a pokey tool. All right, and then I'm going to come all the way down. Whoops. Line it up to my outside paper, like so. See, in the other book, I didn't do the matting before I put the pockets down. So it's a little, this one will look a little bit more intentional than, like, the other one was very blocked, like block quilting. But I just think it was that kind of a paper collection too. This is a more romantic, sophisticated paper collection. So I think it requires some different care. Now we go on to the boxes. Now, if you want to even add matting to the side, you can do 1/4 inch by 6 7/8. Oops, that's upside down. And that would be really pretty too. And then this is going to butt up right with that. And I think I will. I'll tell you why I like the idea of the magnets. Because this stuff can just, these can be so fussy about opening. But, you know, this is handmade. So, all right, let's go ahead and get this down here. And you really don't want a lot of gaps on the sides for stuff to get in there. Okay. And so you want to line this up with the very top and bottom of the book and as evenly centered as possible. Okay. Like so. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, and then turn it around, open it up, and use your bone folder to get that stuck down really, really good. And we want a long bone folder or a ruler. There we go. And there's that side. And then we can close this side up. And then there's that side. Flush with the book, right? All right. Okay. So that one's done. Now let's put our pen box in. That's this one here. And it's extra wide and chunky for chunky pins and dangles. And same thing. And I'm going to mat mine after. Just to speed up this tutorial a bit. And bring it down flush. And this one's not as tall, so you don't have to be as fussy. It's more important to center it as well. See, because you see it's below the line. So you don't have to be as fussy. So mostly you just want to center it. Okay. And let's open that back up. Turn it. And get that down in there really good. All right, so pen boxes in. Pencil box is in. And now we don't really need the cutting board. Let's move that for the moment. Let's get these all in real quick. I'm going to mat mine out you know, you by all means can mat your box first, which is probably a good idea to do the matting on the box first. And you should have some leftover pieces that already fit from if you used a 8x8, and that's what I've used here. So I have lots of pieces that will fit my box, and I can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick, and then I'll come back and we'll put the rest of our boxes in our pockets. Okay, I had some kind of leftover, a strip, and then I cut a 1 7/8 strip by the 8-inch paper, and then I made my matting pieces. And so now I think what I want to do is press them down a little bit more. All right, and now we want to cut a piece for the top, and let's see, finished. Oh my gosh, where's my ruler? Okay, so finished size is 2.5 by 2 3/4. So we need to cut those pieces. Let's get something here. Let's get some, let's see, what do we got here? Oh, that will work too. Oops. All right, so this one is 2.5. So we need, I think it's 2 3/8. And that's almost the right size. It's a little bit too short. So let's go ahead and cut a scrap piece. Let's get some paper. Whoops. Okay. And the orientation this time, they're going to open up this way and this way. Okay? Instead of the way that I had mine. So we're looking at the paper this way. And so we need the, oh my gosh, that's 2 3/4. So just under 2 3/4. We need 2 of those. So that is 2 5/8. All right. Ah, I cut it wrong anyway. I wanted to go in the other direction. Okay, you know what? Let's save that. This way. I want to go 2 5/8 this way so the hearts will be facing me. Let's move it yet. Not 2 3/4. Yeah, 2 5/8. And 2 5/8. Here we go. Oh, that's why did that cut like that? Oh, I am not happy with this cutter at all. Or me. There we go. No, it is like that. Yeah. That is so bizarre. I don't even know what to say. So, wow. Let's go to 2 1/4. Because I want a border. Because for some reason that looked weird. I just don't even know what to say. That cut funny. Oh my gosh, let's try that again. What is going on? Oh my gosh. Not like ruining paper, you know? Okay. Wow, what is going on? Oh, I know what's wrong. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm listening to my brain. Okay, 2 1/2. So we need under 2 1/2 width. Let's try that again. Okay. There we go. So 2 3/8. Wow, there's definitely a problem with cutting and doing my video. All right, 2 3/8, or it's the ruler, and just under 2 3/4. Okay, well, I'm just going to go with it at this point because I'm needing a new cutter. I'm mad at this one. I'm just at it. Oh my gosh. Let's just do that and be happy. Sometimes you just got to move on, you know? It can't be perfect because I am not perfect. Okay, and now we can put on the other side. Okay. And these boxes are on each side of the pen box. So if you want to do matting on the back as well, that's up to you. But you want to make sure when this pen box opens, you don't want it near either box. Okay? So we're going to open it up, take a peek. Okay? And that's where you want to glue it. Okay? And if you decide to mat the back, there's room to. Okay. So we're going to open up this side. And we're going to take a look at the top. We want to come in just under the top. And then open that up. Center it. I'm going to call that good. And that's where we are there. Okay. And open it up. And you can even mat the inside. Once you have, your measurements, you just go to town and do all of the matting you want. You can do the whole inside, the sides on that side, whatever you want to do. Okay? But with it this way, when you open it, the gravity doesn't fight against you. The ones that I did where they open this way, they popped open all the time. And so I decided to put magnets. Now it's a little bit easier on this side, but we do want to make sure that we don't interfere with the pen box. Okay? And be nice and generous with that glue. You want it to last. Make sure it's going to open away from the center. And you want to put it in this, basically in the same place that you have the other one. And open up. Make sure you're clearing that. Let's move it over just a little bit. And there you go. And that's how it's going to look. And you know what? If it bugs you that they're not even, then make sure when you close it that it's even. You know what I mean? So that's the only criticism for this one. Okay, now we can put in our pockets. All right. So each side gets a small, medium, and large pocket. The notebook, the larger notebook pocket goes on this side. Okay, that way you have no interference getting the notebook in and out because it's going to be chunky. Okay, there we go. And that's going to almost butt up against that. And there's plenty of room. It's not going to interfere with that pen box, or the pen box is going to interfere. So feel free to come in a little bit more. Make sure you've got plenty of room to open up the box next to you. And if you want to do your matting, go ahead and do the matting now. I'm not going to worry about it, just so that I don't keep you any longer or myself in this tutorial. Ignore the score marks. Please, those were just mistakes and I didn't want to throw the paper out. Okay, and this is going to be messy. Get that folded up. Slide that in. And there you go. And so what? Don't worry about the glue because it's going to be covered. And most of the glue that we use dries clear. So don't let that be something that bugs you. Worry more about getting your tucks in, your everything glued on really good, lined up. And that's it. It's all that matters. There we go. All right. Big pocket for a notebook or something larger. And now we have a medium pocket that's going to go on top of that one all the way back. And that's why if you decide to go ahead and do the matting now before you glue that on, it's a good idea. And then we'll have the small pocket this way. I'm going to go ahead and do my decorating and then we'll glue those on. Okay, I have gone ahead and matted the top. I can go back and do the sides, but this just gives you an idea. And we have glued on our first large pocket for a notebook. And now we're going to build everything up. Let's see, and which one? I want to say this one's for this side here. But you know what? I think I'll put it on that side because it's the same. Okay, so that's that. And for some reason, this one came out different. But you know what? I do not care. I follow the measurements. It's meant to be like a bento box, you know? So the compartments each all fit something different. Let's just say that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on the left side, the bigger ones on the left side so that you can get in and out. You have more room. There's nothing obstructing it. Huh, Percy. Did you hear my little Percy mew mew? He comes and lays down on the other side of my cutting machine while I'm crafting. Okay, and so this one is going to go this way. And we're going to butt it up just above that red line, kind of centered, you know. Push that in real good. Just looks so pretty. Super fun. It's, you know, this is a bit of an advanced tutorial. It helps to have a basic knowledge of putting books together, but if you take your time and have patience with my tutorial, you can make one. Okay, so there is that pocket there. And nothing is going to slide out. It's a super snug pocket. And then I made pretty much two of the same. They are the same size. And this one orients up. Now this one, you want to give yourself plenty of room for some paperclip embellishments. You know, we can go this way. Maybe we should go ahead and go that way for this one. That way you have more room for paperclip embellishments. And there's nothing that's going to obstruct it this way. See? So you have lots of room this way. If you do it this way, you can see. So let's go ahead on this one and come out to the side. Tuck those in. And then center this one. and pop it that way. Totally up to you, but I'm going to do it this way so that you will have room if you're going to use it for a swap. You'll have more room for some embellishments there. There we go. And now this side. Okay, so let's do this one this way. And this one, get everything tucked in. Come all the way back. That way you have more room here. And, you know, just line them up where you want them. There we go. And now this one. Goes on top. No, all right. Okay, and now this one. And you could put this pocket on this side on the bottom. I just at the last minute decided to do that, but they will fit on either side. Crafter's choice. Okay. And now this one. Let's move this one up just a little bit. And then that way you can have something a little bit longer on the bottom, something like that. That's what I did with mine. And then this one we will put this way. And once you get the idea of sizes and stuff you want, there's no reason why you can't make a bigger version of this, make larger boxes, larger pockets, make it binder size. You know, that's totally up to you. That's the best part about knowing foundational crafting. So you can make whatever you want. There we go. Voila. How fun. Okay. So, and it closes up. Like I said, if this bothers you, move one box over a little bit more. But this does even, give you a spot for another, if you want to put a paper clip up there. You have room to embellish over here a little bit more, room on the sides. Here's the back. Oh, I forgot to mat the back pocket. Let's do that pocket real quick. See if I've got a scrap piece here. Yeah, let's use this one. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming by today and watching this tutorial. It means the world to me that you took the time. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I have definitely enjoyed coming up with this tutorial and making it and sharing it with you. Okay, now we need this piece. And Rosa Kelly, I enjoy watching her, and this is how she does her mini albums. Check out a recent tutorial. Okay. Or, yeah, no, I want to do the stripes. There we go. So far, I think this glue is pretty good. It actually said for bookbinding. So, to me, that tells me that it's sturdy. I don't know. I think I like this side better. Oh my gosh, it is definitely better to craft when you're not on camera if making mistakes bothers you. Okay, there we go. There's this side. This side, we've got our magnets. This opens up. And like I said, if it bothers you that these aren't lined up, I think that's kind of a nice spot to put a dangle. And then there's room here for a dangle on each side of the pin box. You can put a paper clip there. Lots of room, and it's open on the bottom there, so oh my gosh, it's all done. Here's the pockets, these pockets, and our boxes, our pen box, and our pencil box. Have a fantastic day. Thank you so much. I can't say thank you enough for watching today's tutorial. I hope that you are inspired, and tag me. Let me know that you have made one. I would love to see it. I'm on Facebook. I have all my links to my socials in my YouTube description box. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And those of you who have subscribed and have been following, and all of your support and kind comments, Happy New Year. I love you all. See you in my next video. Bye.